Okay. I think we resolved technical difficulties. Maybe. Yes, we have. All right. So we're working with about a 3-second lag. Just letting you all know. So as you guys ask me questions, I might be behind by like a minute. But, hi Jane! Glad that you joined me. Thank you so much. Very excited to be doing this reading live for you. So let me know if you can hear me okay. Thumbs up, likes, hearts, what have you. And through the course of this, after the reading, you guys are going to get some fun attention from Corbin. And also, maybe we can get a bonus reading from Matthew J. Drake if you guys are interested. We shall see. But for the most part, Jane, you're reading the book right now. I hope you're enjoying it. I guess. Hey, Joy! Hi, Jerry. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the thumbs up, Michael. So, shall I get into the reading then? I think I'll get into the reading now. I see hearts going on. So, Jane says that she's loving Tegan, who is a corgi. He's not technically Corbin, but we'll save the questions for after the reading. Does that sound good? Because I want lots and lots of questions. Lots of questions. All right, so here we go. Gotta put this up here a little bit so that I'm still speaking at you. And I've got a little sip of Dalmar here. Not sure if you can see the label, but I figure since it's the first line, I might as well have the whiskey with me, right? Here we go. Starting reading. The Dalmar. Neat. With a water back and a straw, please. Victoria Ash settled at the bar with a tired sigh. The evening was only half over, and already she was at loose ends. Of course, being at an engagement party for 2 of your closest friends, with neither your husband nor your working partner, made it even more uncomfortable. The 2 situations were unrelated, at least. The bartender gave her a friendly enough smile, though. The 12-year or the 15? She considered a moment. The 15. Anything to eat? I could bring you the dinner menu. No, thank you. Victoria shook her head. She planned to have a quiet drink, then return to the event held in the adjoining hotel before any of her teammates missed her. It was a special night, and for once, she wasn't overseeing security on the event. Tonight, she was the guest of her longtime teammate and employer, Gabe Diaz. He and his fiancée, Mei-Lin Chen, were celebrating their engagement. Any event hosted and catered by Mei-Lin promised to feed the guests well, with exquisite innovation. There was absolutely no room left in Victoria's belly for the dishes this establishment had to offer. Victoria had honored her guest hosts, eaten Mei-Lin's fine cuisine, and had her fill of champagne. The last tiny dessert bite had been a delicate pear tart, topped with impossibly thin shards of dark chocolate. With the decadent taste lingering on her tongue, the Dalmar was her choice to savor and then cleanse her palate. Perhaps after she'd finished a glass, or 2, she'd have identified why she was in such an abominably irritable mood and be able to head back to the festivities in a better frame of mind. Her drink was placed in front of her, and with the accompanying glass of plain water. She used the straw to transfer a drop into her scotch. Lifting the glass so she could enjoy the aroma from the amber liquid, she smiled as the tiny bit of water opened up the scotch to give her notes of winter spices and orange citrus, along with richer hints of dark chocolate. Yes, given a few minutes to enjoy this, and she would be in a much better mood. Her ex never did give her a moment's peace to enjoy her scotch. He preferred shots and chasers. Savoring a drink, enjoying the complexity a good scotch could offer, wasn't a preference of his. Now, she needn't take his hurried tendencies into consideration. Wasn't that lovely? Why are we here? A belligerent voice interrupted her enjoyment. There had been a handful of customers scattered through the establishment. These three had walked in from the street as she'd been ordering her scotch. Dressed in jeans and tees, they were probably looking for a different kind of bar. This one was a quieter place, enclosed on three sides with brick walls and hardwood shelves lined with real books. It invited people to come, sit, savor a drink, and even enjoy a book. There had been one or two people tucked into corners reading on e-readers. Besides, being attached to the hotel hosting the event she'd been attending, the laid-back atmosphere of this bar had attracted her in the first place. You wanted a good, hard liquor. One of the noisy trio defended his choice at volume. My app says this place is the best for scotch and whiskey. Good food, too. Belligerent boy let out a ruse noise. You know what? Forget your stupid phone app. I saw the 5 Point on TV. They've got drinks and food, plus we won't have to worry about them closing early. We can stay till breakfast. That's the kind of night I want. Victoria kept watch on the trio without turning towards them. She could see just fine in the reflection on the floor-to-ceiling glass windows of the bar street front. With luck, they'd take themselves out to the sidewalk in a minute, and she could return her attention to her drink. I don't know. This place has something going for it. Saw some familiar faces, maybe. The third pitched in at a more reasonable sound level, but he was still completely audible, even from across the bar. Gabe Diaz is here tonight for some event. You heard of him? Where he is, his team is too. Sipping her scotch, she kept her glass raised to obscure a part of her face. If she could see them in the reflection, they could turn and see her. Despite their careless words, they had been slowly turning to take note of the people in the room. None of their gazes had lingered longer than a second, but they could have recognized her. Most people in her line of work made it their business to recognize another person in the private contractor field. It wasn't easy, but if they were familiar with Gabe, then they'd have a chance of identifying her. She'd been with Gabe's team longer than any of her previous stints in the business. She wasn't dressed for work, though. It had been a good time to wear the rose gown with a subtle golden shimmer so sheer it required a nude silk sheath underneath. It fit her perfectly. The fabric poured over her torso to fall from her hips and pull into a fuller skirt around her ankles. She left her hair down for once. It hung free of the severe knot she kept it in for when she was working. A few soft curls worked well in her golden blonde hair. Nothing about her shouted private security or former military. Diaz and his safeguard experiment, whatever. Belligerent boy flopped his hand around in mockery. Word is, they aren't worth the contract fee. Clients aren't happy. If they're here, it's going to be a clusterfuck. Guaranteed. There are better companies to do the job. She kept her expression neutral, but she filed the tidbit of information away. It would be wise to follow up and see if the comment had any validity to it at all. At the very least, Gabe would want to know it had been said out in the bar. His companion snickered. Like yours? Hey, I work for the best, belligerent boy raised his hands. They appreciate good work and don't get their panties in a twist when a man heads out for a well-deserved time off. This was starting to sound like a badly scripted commercial. These men had walked into this bar on purpose. There was no way it was a coincidence. Yet it had to be to pick a fight or stir up some similar ridiculousness. Real clients with serious contracts wouldn't be getting their information from bar gossip. On the other hand, journalists had been hanging around the safeguard teams ever since Kyle Yoon had stood trial to testify against Phoenix Biotech. The trial had been right in the spotlight of public scrutiny, and Safeguard, specifically Lizzie Scott, had been his bodyguard. Perhaps Belligerent Boy was trying to score an interview with some journalist trying to get dirt. Either way, she'd best get them out of here before they cast a shadow on Gabe and Malin's special night. Excuse me. The nice bartender had approached at this point, quite possibly at the worst moment. If you gentlemen aren't going to order a drink or food, I'm going to have to ask you to head on to your next destination. Yeah? That was a challenge. Belligerent Boy cocked his head to one side and threw out his chest. You think so? You one of Diaz's wannabe real mercenaries on watch at the perimeter? Maybe we should head inside and see how good Safeguard security really is. Actually, no. The bartender was simply doing his job. Since this event wasn't a contract, Safeguard wasn't maintaining high-level security. There shouldn't have been any need to. As far as anyone else was concerned, this event was a simple engagement reception. Victoria set her glass down, promising herself another scotch after this was resolved. Yeah, nah, bro. I reckon we take this outside. Another new voice had entered the mix, and this one had a wonderful accent. It wasn't British or European, closer to Australian, but not a match for that continent either. Perhaps New Zealand? Who are you? Belligerent boy seem to be looking for a fight. Doesn't matter. The newcomer wasn't much taller than Belligerent boy, but he managed to look down the few inches he had on the other man in a genial way. Truly, his broad shoulders and chest cut an impressive figure, and there was a strength of presence that filled available space in a way normal physicality could not. He took a few steps through the other three, forcing them to step aside before they thought to stand their ground, and headed outside. The newcomer was ballsy. Victoria would have been infuriated, but she'd have been wary. This trio was the former and not the latter. They swarmed out after the man, probably as he'd intended. She followed at a more leisurely pace and gave the bartender a pat on the shoulder. No need to worry for the moment. They'll all get this out of their system and move along. Unless the four of them came through the glass, that was. The entire front of the bar and the adjacent hotel lobby was window front or glass door. Watching the three range out in a semicircle around the single man, they all appeared fairly capable, to her experienced eye. A step above the average bar brawler, at least. Someone could very likely come through the windows, since it'd be better than throwing a man into the street, where things could become much more fatal. First Ave wasn't the busiest of streets, but it still had traffic at this time. Okay, I'm going to wrap it there for the reading. Did you guys enjoy it? I'm going to look through the comments to see what we got. We have face bombs. We have dude bros. We have a meow, and I'm guessing that's with the description of Adam, because yes, Adam is delicious. Also, we have Jane mentioning that she's been to New Zealand a couple of times, and it's her favorite place on earth. Oh my gosh, I've been to New Zealand once, Jane, and I cannot wait to go back again. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was amazing. The people are amazing. Thank you, Jerry. I'm glad you enjoyed the reading. Oh, and Matthew J. Drake says that the accent is hard to duplicate, but it's so enjoyable. And I have to say, one of my favorite people is Philippa Ballantyne, or Pip, who is from New Zealand, and I could listen to her talk forever. I love her accent. And I think Pip has joined us, actually. Hi, Pip! It is our favorite place. Someday we shall go together to New Zealand and hang out. This is a promise. Yep, Pip, we're gonna do that. Megan, hello! Thank you for joining. When I hit New Zealand, I could come visit you too, Megan? I think so. Australia is definitely on my bucket list to visit. I haven't been there yet, but I really would love to visit. Besides, I love your pictures of all the ducklings. So cute and fuzzy. Okay. Let's see. We've also got a comment from Michael Dornacker Jr. I love listening to the Maori family that lived next door to us in Hawaii. Yeah. And also Jane is saying that the vowels will mess you up. They definitely will. And I will tell you all right now, I admit I can't do accents at all. Period. Anytime I try, it's a horrible, horrible mishap. So when I give readings, I kind of give a little inflection, but I don't actually try to do accents. So now, as we've been chatting, I have a little surprise here for you. There is a corgi in the mix for contracted defense. And so I thought you all might enjoy a little visit from Corbin. So let's here. Corbin is sleepy. Very sleepy. He was actually sleeping under the desk while I was doing the reading. Hello. Yes? He's also looking for his chew toy. And we've got an explosion of loves for the Corbin. Corbin is also getting over a little bit of an upper respiratory thing, so he might sneeze. He's like all sleepy. Oh, baby. He's so sleepy. He's so sleepy. Oh, now we're doing blankies. Hi, everybody. Oh, Stanier's Wiki. Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you since, like, high school. But yeah, Corbin is definitely a little out of it. He's been sleeping all day. He's had a little bit of a cold. Caught a little bit of kennel cough last week from the boarding kennel, and so he's on antibiotics, getting over it. But he is doing well. Right, baby? Now he's looking at Matthew J. Drake from behind the camera. So, Stan, yeah, definitely good. It has been a while. It's been decades. We're getting old. All right. Do we have other questions? Let's see. We've got some conversation going on between Pip and Jane. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And also Deanna. Hi, Deanna. Thank you for joining. Can I have a kiss? Thank you for the kiss. Corbin's still in the room. He's just not in my lap anymore because he was wilting over. And yes, napping is a puppy's job. Megan's like, you're not old. Thank you. I prefer to never grow up.
I had a question.
Oh, you have a question.
Yeah, I asked it in the chat.
You did? I missed it.
I said, would you have picked a corgi for this story if we didn't have Corbin?
Okay, so did you guys hear that? The question is, would we have picked a corgi? Would I have picked a corgi for the story if we didn't have Corbin? I did have planned to have a corgi in this story before we got Corbin. So it just kind of helped that we had a corgi in the house to give him character when I wrote him into the story. And I think I see another question here from Pip. Does the corgi in the book look like Corbin? And actually, the corgi in the book is a Pembrokeshire Welsh corgi as well. But he doesn't necessarily look like Corbin. Although my brain is starting to wonder if that's the case. Uh-oh. I think originally I was, to be honest, when I was doing the character design, I was going to make a Merle corgi, which is that like pipe smoke blue with browns and blacks corgi. And then I found out that Pembrokeshire Welsh corgis don't come in that color naturally. That is the cardigan corgis that come in that color. So then I was like, okay. Well then, is he a red corgi, a redhead corgi like Ein from Cowboy Bebop? Or is he a tricolor like Corbin is? So I think I made him a red corgi, but I might have to check the detail on that, Pip. It's been a while. Another question. How do you decide where in the world your characters are from? When I'm building my characters, especially the hero and the heroine, I decide that right away as I'm plotting my book. And this time, you know, I like to try to bring in a lot of diverse characters because I love researching the culture. And I just love the personalities. And honestly, this is romance. I also really, really love the look and appearance and physical beauty of so many different people from all over the world. So I try to pick backgrounds and cultures that I feel lend to the aesthetic of the story I'm about to tell. And in this case, I had New Zealand on the brain. And so Adam ended up coming from New Zealand. And luckily for me, Pip was around to help make sure that Adam was authentic. So let's see. Also, Pip is asking whether or not there's much rugby in the book. Honestly, I did use a lot of pictures of players from the All Blacks the New Zealand All Blacks, as inspiration for what Adam looked like, but they don't actually play rugby in the book. I couldn't work it in there, and that would have ended up with way too many characters to try. I do talk a lot about kayaking, and also take a look at the New Zealand love for the ocean and ocean going, shall we say. Jane mentions, go All Blacks! Let's see. How long between when you submit a book and when it gets published? So, Jane, that varies. Right now, all of my books are written on contract. So they're submitted as a proposal. And the original proposal for the Safeguard series was a 3-book deal that was done, oh my gosh, 2 years ago. And then it started with me turning in Hidden Impact, and that came out, turning in Deadly Testimony, that came out last year, and then Contracted Defense, which came out today. So it can vary, honestly, especially with digital imprint, like Carina Presses, it can be a little bit faster turnaround. So it could be as little as, a few months, 3 to 6 months. But for TradPub, I could be turning in a book in maybe 6 months to 9 months ahead of time, or even a year in advance, depending on their schedule. Really depends on the publisher, but it definitely takes some time. And it also depends on the publisher's schedule. Once I finish the book and turn it in, they also have to take a look at what they have to do in terms of editing, copy editing, formatting, and everything, and put it in their publishing schedule. So it could be a long time. Yes, Megan, wayfaring. Although I was hesitant to use that term because I felt like maybe I picked it up from Moana, because I do love that Disney movie, and I didn't want to apply it incorrectly. Susan Rogers says, do we have more food porn in this book? I love when you describe yummy food. Yes, there's food porn, because I love food. And it's food from a whole bunch of different places. So there's a little bit of description. There's also a love for a good scotch. No, you can't have it. No. There's also soup dumplings, xiaolongbao. I think I said that right, maybe. But soup dumplings, we definitely talk soup dumplings, because I was obsessed with soup dumplings while I was writing Contracted Defense. Like, nobody's business obsessed with soup dumplings. So if you go to my Pinterest boards, you'll even see videos of some of my favorite vloggers in Taiwan at Din Tai Fung, I think, really enjoying like some of the best soup dumplings in the world. Oh my gosh. If you've never had a soup dumpling, totally worth it. It's heaven an experience. Thank you, Joy, for posting links. And Stan, gotta go. Sick daughter. I hope she feels better soon. Thank you for tuning in.
So she had some pre-selected questions. If you give me those, I'll ask them to you.
Okay. Yes, there's 2 pre-selected questions from elsewhere on the internets.
All right, and they can hear me. How many books total are going to be in this series?
So the Safeguard series has 3 books so far. Hidden Impact, Deadly Testimony, and now Contracted Defense. At this time, there are no more books contracted for this series. That doesn't mean that the series is definitely over. It's just that at this time, it's complete. Each of the books is standalone. So you can enjoy them out of order if you want, or you can enjoy them all together and meet the whole Safeguard team.
Okay, and then when will the Safeguard books be available in print?
Ooh, print is a difficult discussion because the publisher for the Safeguard series is Carina Press, and they are a digital-first imprint to Harlequin. But I have good news, mostly in the fact that Hidden Impact and Deadly Testimony have been chosen for Harlequin's sort of direct-to-consumer program. And because that's the case, they are going to be available in print by the end of this year / June. They won't be in bookstores, but you'll be able to go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and you'll be able to order the print copies at that time. Lots of love for that. Thank you. And so that's Hidden Impact and Deadly Testimony. I have not heard whether or not Contracted Defense has been chosen for the direct-to-consumer print yet. So I do not know if Contracted Defense is going to be available in print.
And the best way to help that is to just buy like 18 copies each.
Stop that! No, don't listen to him. Just enjoy the books, my friends. Reviews if possible, but don't buy multiple copies. He's crazy pants. Okay, we also have another question. Yes, Pip. Best excuse ever to do research for a book? Eating all the foods. Yes. Jerry says, thanks, can't wait to read it. Thank you, Jerry. Megan, have you submitted to Passionflix? I have not. Should I? Do you think that's a good idea? The whole series? Which book do you think would be the best to submit to Passionflix? I'm not absolutely sure how it works. I know that they launched, but I was not at the event where they got themselves, where they launched and kicked off, so I'm not absolutely sure how that works. I should do the research. I will do the research. Susan is saying you're a troublemaker, Matt. Total troublemaker. Jane is saying that the completionist in her says Contracted Defense has to be in print, and I hope so. We're hoping. We has a puppy. We're hoping. So they have a submission email address. I will look for that. Submit book 1, of course. Hidden Impact is also just an awesome, awesome book. Really had a lot of fun with it. And the food porn in that, I gave good food porn. I did. Yes, thank you, Joy. She's gonna make a note about Passionflix. So, do we have more questions, or do you guys want to try to coax Matthew J. Drake into doing an impromptu reading of a scene from Adam's point of view?
What now? What are you saying?
Yes. If you guys want it, give me hearts. Give me hearts.
What are you...
I don't know.
No, see, they don't want it. No one's interested. All right.
I don't know. Oh, I get hearts. We've got hearts.
No.
We want a reading.
Corbin
We want a reading.
No. He says no.
Oh, there's lots of hearts going on. That's it. You guys have spoken. Matthew J. Drake is going to do an impromptu reading. Lots of people are saying they would like it. No fake accents, though.
No, I was... Yeah.
No fake accents, we've been told. Okay. Here we go. So this is somewhere from the middle of the book. It is from Adam's point of view. And I picked a saucy part. Yes. We're going to make Matthew read saucy for you because he gives good voice. And there's a question after that. You ready? Okay, I'm going to stand over here to the side while Matthew comes in.
Oh, you're going to be there?
No.
Oh,
You're going to go there. I'm going to be near you, though, for facial expressions. Move over. Please.
Hi there, everyone. Did your previous partner have a nickname for you? He wouldn't tease her with nicknames if someone had tortured her with them in the past. A shadow crossed her expression. No, neither my partner nor my ex did. But you don't like them. He was getting lost quickly, and she was withdrawing into herself. Her gaze had become unfocused, the spark leaving her eyes. There must be some bad memories tied to the ex. Talking about her former partner didn't do this to her. She shrugged. I prefer to carry myself in a professional manner, impeccable, respectable, reliable. He frowned. As she'd spoken, her comments had cut inward. Far from positive, her words had turned bitter with remembered anger. There was the malaise he'd noticed about her. It had come and gone throughout their working session. It was a dark, ugly cloud of thought eating her from the inside out, consuming her and turning her attention deep inside. She wasn't even aware of his proximity anymore. Well, couldn't have that. He leaned in and kissed her. He intended to be quick, startle her out of her thoughts. But as soon as their lips met, hers parted in a gasp, and he couldn't resist the invitation. He took her deeper, tasting. She kissed back, drinking him in and leaning into him. Her hands gripped his waist in encouragement. Just like that, he was on fire, and she was living flame under him. He'd backed her up against the table until she was on her back. His hips fit between her legs, grinding until they both groaned with the friction. He gripped her ass until she lifted her legs and wrapped them around his waist. Her hands hooked behind his neck, pulling him in for hungry kisses. A sharp, happy bark sounded outside. Sucking in air, he straightened and pulled her up to stand with him. They stumbled back from each other. Each of them dragged their hands through their own hair in an attempt to straighten themselves up. A minute later, there was a knock on the pool house door. "Hello, it's Roland. We've lunch up at the main house."
What do we think?
I'm leaving. Taking this with me.
Don't steal my scotch.
Hi, puppy.
Okay.
Thank you for those hearts. That was wonderful. Also, excuse me for a moment.
Thank you. Indeed. Okay, so there was a question right before Matthew did our reading for us. There was a question. What does the J stand for? Dun dun dun. So, as some of you know, Piper J. Drake is a pen name, and therefore we wanted to keep it really familiar. Piper J. PJ Schneider was my former pen name. We wanted to make it very easy for people to be able to transition, keep calling me PJ or Peach, or be able to call me Piper. But a lot of people wanted to know, like, what would the J stand for? So my agent, Courtney Amelia Callahan, decided to start calling me Piper June. So what do you think? Piper June Drake? I would keep speaking, but you keep messing me up. I'm freaking out. So my agent is Courtney Miller Callahan of the Handspun Lit, thus the happy mug, and she calls me Piper June. Okay, yes, Pip, I need a cold shower. That happens. And yes, Megan, the reading got steamy. He gives good voice. I love it. Jane says, when are you doing reader events? I would love to meet you. And Matt. Okay, so that's a good question. And actually, there are post-it notes back here. So right now, you can find events and appearances on my website, piperjdrake.com. But the next scheduled appearance will be at Coastal Magic Convention in February in the Florida area. So I will be at CMC or Coastal Magic Convention next year. I'm also scheduled for the Fresh Fiction Ritas and Ritas event in the November timeframe. And I'll also be at RWA Nationals. So that's 3 events that I know of next year. And a couple of writing retreats, which are smaller. So the question is whether or not Matthew J. Drake stands for Matthew June Drake. I don't think so. He's not a June. We'll have to find out what that is. We're not sure.
Not telling.
He's not telling. You're going to have to save it for another time. He's not telling. And also, Michael points out that, you know, it's a little warm here. It is 106 degrees outside. It's a tad bit toasty in the desert. So, Megan, no RT this year. I had a scheduling conflict with the day job. So, unfortunately, I have to miss RT. I'm sorry. We have guesses on the J now. We've got Pip saying maybe it's Matthew Jim Drake.
Heck no.
We've got Jane saying he's Mr. July. Are we getting a calendar? Are we requesting a calendar of Matthew J. Drake?
Corbin calendar.
A Corbin calendar, maybe. A Corbin calendar and a Matthew calendar? Like, put them both in the same calendar? I don't know. Matthew Joker Drake? James?
No.
Oh. Okay, so, Megan, again, I'm sorry. We will find a way to hang out again. I promise. You just never know where the day job or where things are gonna take me, because you know I travel quite a lot. Jane asks, how does it feel to wrap up the series? Oh, I love the Safeguard series. I love it a lot. I love the Safeguard team and the characters, and I really like the Seattle area. So given the chance, I would totally write more books in the series or in the area, or a spinoff even. So I don't know. It feels good to wrap up those 3 books though, because that is the original Safeguard team. We know what happened to each one of them, and most of them have happily ever afters, which makes me super, super happy. So it feels really, really freeing in a way. And I do have other books coming up. So we have more books coming out next year in the True Heroes series, which is out of Grand Central Publishing's Forever Imprint. And those are exciting because those are print as well as ebook available, so you'll be able to find them in bookstores. So there are 3 more books coming out in the True Heroes series, and I might have some other stuff coming down the line. Stay tuned. We shall find out. Any chance for Barbara Vey weekend again? And that's from Sheila. Unfortunately, I was about to do Barbara Vey in 2018, but unfortunately there came up with a couple of just complications, and I wasn't able to do the event this year. I'm absolutely open to doing the event in the future. It just didn't work out for 2018. Did you pick PNW for this series? I'm sorry, Jane. My brain's going splat. PNW? What's that? Also, Jane is asking for more puppies. Yes! The True Hero series is continuing next year, and there are more military or ex-military heroes and heroines and more working dogs. Definitely more working dogs. Pacific Northwest. Yes. I'm sorry. So the Pacific Northwest is definitely the Safeguard series. I did pick Seattle area for that. The 3 books for the True Hero series is actually set in Hawaii. So that's oceanic setting. Hawaii is going to be fantastic. And we did do a research trip earlier this year to Hawaii to help with that setting. And I've got a couple of links with the Twitters, and yay, True Heroes. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Michael and Jane, for specifying Pacific Northwest. That helps. A Kelpie or Border Collie would be nice. Oh, those are awesome dogs. When it comes to the upcoming books in the True Hero series, starting with Total Bravery coming out in April, I can tell you that the dogs are not a Border Collie or a Kelpie. We are kicking off with a German Shepherd dog. For both the 4th book and the 5th book, there are 2 German Shepherd dogs, and then in the 6th book, we have a Rhodesian Ridgeback. There are other dogs that pop up in the series as well, because we're going to take a little change of direction. This next 3 books features working dogs who specialize in very, very elite search and protect and extraction of VIPs. Let's see. We are asking whether or not there's more Polynesian heroes ahead. Actually, the way I have it set up, we have a lot of characters, but the main characters have just moved to Hawaii. So we have a Portuguese hero in the 1st book, Raul Sa, who, those of you who have read Total Bravery, Absolute Trust, the 3rd book in the series, were introduced to Raul at that time. And the heroines for books 4 and 5, for Total Bravery and for book 5 as well, are a pair of sisters who are Thai. And then in the 6th book, Zu is an amazing, amazing African-American gentleman. So that's our hero, and his heroine is Chinese American. So, We have... Apparently I'm going to get ice cream. Yum. And also we have commentary about Dwayne Johnson being a muse. He is rather inspirational, isn't he? Although I'm not sure if I really like that thing he does with his pecs. I haven't decided. Sometimes the comedy, though, is awesome. I really do like a lot of his movies. We have a request from Megan to put ducks in the books. Then I need more ducks, Megan. Post ducks here for inspiration. Please. Pip saying that she loves all my characters. Thank you. I really like my characters too. I try really hard to create characters that I fall in love with and also find extremely attractive. Oh, Jane, I don't follow his Instagram. Maybe I should. I will look into that. And he cooks! That's one of the best ways to win me. Alright. Last chance for questions. And then we're going to wrap this up. This was an awesome, awesome session. If you guys all liked this, then I will definitely do this again. Oh, and I had promised to do a giveaway. So, based on the number of people we've got live right now, I'm going to do a giveaway of one of the books now. And then knowing that there are going to be some people who weren't able to attend that'll be watching this video later, we'll do the other two book giveaways in comments over the next couple of days as people catch up. So for the first book giveaway, what I'd like is for all of you to choose a number between 1 and 10, and whoever gets closest to the number I've got in my brain first
Shouldn't I pick it?
Gets the giveaway. Oh, should you pick it?
Yes.
Fine. Matthew J. Drake is going to hold a number in his brain between 1 and 10, and whoever's the first to comment what it is gets it. So, pop it in comments, people. We've got a 9, a 3, a 6, a 7.
Corbin's going to give him a countdown.
How is he going to count down? He doesn't count.
I know. You're going to do it with him.
Okay.
Give him a cutoff.
A 5, a 6, a 3. Okay, we're gonna count down. Get your numbers in. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
11.
That's not between 1 and 10.
You said 20.
No, 1 and 10. I said between 0 and 10.
Oh my goodness.
Pick another number. He can't see the screen, so he doesn't know who picked what.
Yeah, I have no idea. 3.
Okay, so let me see who is the first person to pick 3. Hold on, we gotta go back in the comments for that. Susan says you're fired. Alright, we will go back in the comments to see who it was that picked the 3. And that is the person who won. Megan picked 3 first. Yay, Megan! Megan, do me a favor. Just confirm for me via private message which email you'd like me to send the book to, and let me know if you want Kindle or Nook. Sound good? Thank you. And the next 2 ebook giveaways we'll do in comments. Basically, for those of you who follow up and watch the video after this, catching up, please leave in comments something. Brains. Please leave in comments additional questions that you might have for me that weren't covered in the chat here. And we'll pick from the people who are catching up based on your questions, and we'll do a random pick for 2 more winners. Sound good?
Wait, do that for one of the winners. I got it.
Oh no, that's 1 winner. He's got another set.
That's 1 winner. And you totally said between 0 and 20. Anyway, the 2nd winner, leave your favorite tea suggestion for her, because she's on a new tea kick.
This is true. I'm so on a tea kick right now. Okay, so first giveaway for those of you who are watching after the fact, please leave in comments a question that wasn't asked here on the chat. And the second ebook giveaway, as Matthew mentioned, leave me tea recommendations. And we will pick a winner randomly for those 2 book giveaways, and that will be a digital copy of Contracted Defense. Or if you already bought it, you have the option of one of the other books in my series in ebook format. Okay? Thank you, everybody. This was super fun. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Is that my cue?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, he's trying to figure out how to like turn this off.
There we